This is your instructor, Merritt Kearns. I'm currently in my 12th year teaching at American Military University in the Emergency Management and Fire Science programs. I live in Georgia with my wife and 3 children, and I also serve as a battalion chief in the fire service, so I definitely understand the challenges that come along with working a military or public safety type of schedule. The first thing I want to discuss today is balancing the demands on your time. If something comes up that might interfere with your ability to meet a deadline in one of my classes, send me an email. Briefly describe the problem, and I'll do my best to be as flexible as possible so that you're still successful in the class. Please be aware that once we get towards the end of the class, I don't accept any work beyond the course end date. You still have the option to submit an official extension request, but those go through the registrar's office. The next thing I want to discuss is the expectations on communication with me. Students should use their APUS provided Outlook email account for all emails to me. Students should also be aware that you get free access to Microsoft Office 365. That includes Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, as well as the Outlook email client. Understand that I teach hundreds of students every term and have a number of different sections of classes. So when you email me, please, somewhere in the email or in the subject line, identify which class you're emailing me about. That just saves me the time of having to hunt down and figure out which class you're discussing. The last thing I want to talk about today is APA formatting and plagiarism. Plagiarism is a hot topic, especially at online schools. I put an announcement in all the classes that I teach that has a variety of resources that are going to be really helpful to you. So spend some time and go over that announcement in the classroom. I included 2 different Microsoft Word documents that you can download. One's a sample paper, and one is an APA template. Use those Microsoft Word documents. They're going to help you with your formatting. I included other resources that are going to help you to avoid plagiarism, and also look at the video I put on plagiarism and paraphrasing. They're going to be very helpful, so spend some time on those. Basically, plagiarism is defined as using somebody else's work without giving them credit, without giving them attribution. So you got to cite your references. So I want to go down here and look at a couple of things that we see quite commonly. The first thing I'm going to highlight here is the correct way to use a direct quote. Use quotation marks around the other author's work, and then you cite it by putting in parentheses afterwards the author's last name, the date, and the page number that you found that direct quote on. The next example is incorrect because it's not cited. There's no citation. It's the same exact quote, but there's no quotation marks, and you're not putting in parentheses the author's name, the date of the publication, and the page number. So you're not telling me that it's a direct quote. That's plagiarism. Whether you intended to do it or not, that's plagiarism, and I'm going to email you and ask you to fix it. The last one is something we're seeing a lot more of recently, and I call it word replacement. Basically, you're taking the same direct quote as we saw in the correct first example. You're moving around a couple of words, but you're not really changing anything. So you're still using the original author's work. You're not giving them credit. So even though you've changed a couple things around, it's still plagiarism. Avoid word replacement. Anyway, that sums up the quick tips that I wanted to give you today. I wish everyone good luck in the class. Please contact me if I can be of any assistance.